Every December, at temples across Japan, men climb into the rafters, carrying bamboo poles taller than they are, with the green leaves still attached at the tip. They beat the beams. A year of soot comes down like black snow, into their eyes, down their collars, into their sleeves. The ceremony is called susuharai, soot sweeping, and at many temples it happens on the 13th of December, the day that officially opens the season of preparation for the new year. That same week, in the Edo period, the streets were full of men doing something else. Shopkeepers sold on credit all year. Rice, oil, sake, cloth, tea. The tab ran until the end of December, and then the collectors came. On the last day of the year, the day called omisoka, a merchant walked his neighborhood with a ledger and knocked on doors until midnight. A household that had not paid by the time the temple bells rang carried that failure into the new year with its name on it. So one country, in 1 week, did 2 things. It scrubbed the house down to the joists, and it closed every account it owed. Nobody designed that as a metaphor. It happened because the families who kept a clean house tended to keep clean books, and the ones who let the soot pile up in the ceiling also let the tab pile up at the rice merchant. The same instinct governs both. Look away, and it accumulates. Look at it, and it stops. You have soot in your rafters. You also have a tab at the rice merchant, except yours has an interest rate and a customer service number you have never called. You already know your apartment is a mess. What you have not accepted is that the mess and the balance are the same problem wearing 2 costumes. Today we do what Japan does in December. Broom in one hand, ledger in the other, 30 days to the bell. If you are ready to look at both, stay with me. If you came for tidying tips, there are 10,000 videos about folding shirts. This one is going to cost you something. Before we go on, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We love seeing how far this story travels. And if you're loving it so far, join the family by hitting subscribe, because tomorrow we've got something special lined up just for you. Walk through your home tonight and try something uncomfortable. Do not look at your things as things. Look at them as receipts. That drawer of cables is about $200 of decisions you cannot undo. The clothes at the back of the closet with the tags still on represent money that left your account and gave you 4 seconds of feeling good in a store. You have 3 of the same screwdriver, because twice you could not find the first one, and it was easier to spend $9 than 20 minutes. Somewhere, there is a bag of protein powder, hardening. Every one of those objects was hours of your life. You sat in traffic for that screwdriver. You answered emails on a Sunday for the appliance you used once. Disorganization has a price, and it is charged monthly. When you cannot see what you own, you buy it again. When you cannot find the receipt, the return window closes, and the retailer keeps your money, which is a business model rather than an accident. When the closet is packed too tight to see into, you shop as though you own nothing. Some of you pay for a storage unit, a subscription service for objects you have already forgotten, renewing forever, delivering nothing. There is an old idea in Japan called mottainai, usually translated as regret over waste. It is closer to a feeling of shame at seeing something with life still in it, left to rot. A person with mottainai is not the person who refuses to spend. It is the person who cannot stand to see a thing go unhonored after they paid for it. Your apartment is full of dishonored things. That is what the mess actually is. Here is what makes soot dangerous, and why a country decided it needed a ceremony and a fixed date. Nobody chooses soot. There is no moment when you decide to let a 1/4 inch of black film build up on a ceiling beam. It accumulates by default, while you are busy living, one invisible particle at a time, and it is never new enough to notice. Now open your bank statement and go down 12 months of it, line by line, out loud. The cloud storage tier you upgraded during one panicked afternoon. 2 streaming services you have not opened since spring. a meditation app you downloaded on a Sunday when you promised yourself things would be different. A gym 11 minutes away, which is exactly 11 minutes too far. Software you used for one project in a job you no longer have. A $3 convenience fee you have paid every month for 4 years, which is $144, which is a flight. None of that was a decision. Each was a decision once, briefly, and then it turned into weather. Money leaves your account the way soot lands on a beam, without asking, at a rate slow enough to feel like nothing. The temple solution is a bamboo pole and a date. Once a year, somebody goes up and looks at the part of the building nobody looks at. Your version takes 40 minutes and a pen. Sit with 12 months of statements, mark every recurring charge, and write them on one page with the annual cost beside each, because the monthly number is designed to keep you calm. $6.99 is nothing. $83.88 a year for a service you have opened twice is a different sentence in a different tone of voice. Most people find between $40 and $200 a month up in those rafters. That is also, for a lot of you, the exact size of the extra debt payment you have been calling impossible. Now the harder half. The Edo merchant did not enjoy the last day of the year. Neither did the household. Everyone involved would have preferred to keep the arrangement vague, and vagueness was available, and the culture insisted on a date and a face and a total anyway. That custom survived for centuries, for reasons that have nothing to do with morality. Debt that is never counted grows in a way counted debt does not. Not mathematically, psychologically. When you do not know the number, you cannot make a plan, and without a plan, every purchase feels equally harmless. Because harmless, compared to what? Consider how strange your situation is. You know your phone battery to the exact percent. You know how many steps you took yesterday. You can recite the score of a game played by men who have never met you. Ask you what your total debt is, across every card and loan and buy now pay later plan, and the $2,000 you owe your brother, and you will give me a number that starts with the word like. So do the omisoka. One page. Every debt gets a line. Who you owe. The exact balance. The interest rate. The minimum payment. Add it up and write the total at the bottom, full size. No shrinking the handwriting. You will feel something physical when you see it. Tightness across the chest. Heat in the face. Sit in that for a minute instead of closing the notebook, because that sensation is the entire point of the ritual. Vague debt produces a background hum of dread, all day, every day, forever. Specific debt produces one bad hour and then a plan. Hani Motoko, the journalist who put the household ledger into Japanese homes in 1904, was not trying to turn housewives into accountants. She was turning fog into a number. Fog cannot be fought. $14,300 can. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. Now the part where most of you quit. You have looked at the mess and the total. Both are enormous. Your instinct is to block out a whole Saturday, do the apartment and the debt plan in one heroic session, and become a different person by Sunday evening. Saturday will come. You will be tired. You will do a load of laundry and call it a start. The monk sweeping a temple courtyard does not sweep until it is finished, because a courtyard is never finished, and leaves are still falling while he works. He sweeps until the bell rings. That is the only reason he can do it every day for 50 years without hating it. So take 10 minutes, not 30, not an hour, 10, on a timer, and pair them. 5 minutes on one physical location, one drawer, the chair with the clothes on it, the shelf above the sink, small enough that you will finish. 5 minutes on one line. Cancel a subscription. Call one card and ask for a lower rate, which works more often than you would guess, because retention departments exist and are measured on keeping you. Move $50 to savings before you can spend it. Write down what you spent yesterday, by hand. When the timer hits 0, stop, even mid-drawer, especially mid-drawer. This feels wrong and it is essential. Stopping teaches your brain that the activity has an end, and the reason you have avoided both cleaning and money for years is that both feel infinite. Your brain will not enter a room with no exit. Give it one and it walks in willingly tomorrow. 10 minutes a day is 60 hours a year and 365 financial decisions, which is more decisions than you have made about your money in the last decade combined. Something predictable happens 2 weeks in, and it has destroyed more progress than laziness ever has. The apartment starts to look good. The empty shelf appears. You feel competent for the first time in a while, and competence is dangerous, because your next thought is that you deserve something. So you buy a candle, then a basket for the drawer you just emptied, then matching containers for the pantry, because now the pantry deserves better. An entire industry lives on this moment, selling storage solutions to people who have just discovered they own too much, which is like selling a bigger belt to someone whose pants got tight. The empty shelf is the result, not a problem waiting to be solved. Leave it empty. Let it be uncomfortable for a few weeks, until it stops being uncomfortable, which takes about a month. The rule that protects the work is boring, and it holds. Nothing comes in without something going out. New shirt, old shirt leaves. And for 30 days, every dollar you would have spent rewarding yourself for cleaning goes on to the smallest debt on your page. While you were doing your 10 minutes a day, you built a pile. The appliance used once, the clothes with tags, the phone 2 generations old in the desk drawer, the bike with the flat tire that has been functioning as furniture for 2 years. In Japan, the resale market is enormous and unembarrassed. Mercari is ordinary household economics rather than something you do quietly because you are broke. Second-hand shops sit on high streets beside new ones. Objects are expected to have more than one owner, which fits mottainai exactly, because the waste is not in the buying, it is in the rotting. Photograph the pile. List it. Price it to sell rather than to prove you were right to buy it. And yes, you will take a loss, and that loss already happened months ago. You are only now finding out about it. Then put every dollar that comes in onto the smallest balance on your list. Not the highest interest rate, the smallest number. Kill it completely and cross it off with a pen, hard enough that the paper shows it. The arithmetic says, attack the highest rate first. The arithmetic is correct and has never once kept a discouraged human being going for 18 months. You need to see a line disappear while you are still willing to look at the page. Somebody who believes a war is winnable fights it. Somebody staring at one enormous mountain orders a pizza and goes to bed. And I say that with the affection of a person who has watched a lot of people do exactly that. $400 from a pile of dead objects, one dead debt, one fewer minimum payment forever. And that freed payment goes on to the next line. This is how the thing actually moves. Here is what the December ritual was protecting, underneath the beams and the ledgers. Financial anxiety is not an emotion that visits. It is a hum. It runs while you eat dinner, while you watch a film you are not following, while somebody you love tells you about their day and you nod at the wrong moment. It costs you attention constantly, which means it costs you your life, which is made of attention. A cluttered house hums the same way. Every unwashed dish is an open task your brain refuses to close. You try to think clearly in a room that keeps interrupting you, then wonder why you cannot concentrate. Then buy an app about focus, which becomes another line on your statement, collecting soot. Neither hum is silenced by a dramatic event. Nobody wakes up debt-free, and nobody wakes up in a clean house. It is the beam, once a year. The floor, 10 minutes a day. The list, one line crossed out at a time. What you get back is the specific relief of having looked. Almost everything you fear financially is worse in the fog than on paper. The number is finite. The pile is finite. December is finite. And the bell rings whether or not you were brave enough to open the drawer. You do not have to wait for December. Pick a date 30 days from tonight and make it your omisoka. Before then, the rafters get swept, the list gets written, the pile gets sold, and at least one debt dies. Then walk into your clean kitchen the next morning and notice what your mind does when nothing in the room is asking you for anything. So tell me, 2 things in the comments, both specific. Name the drawer or corner you have been walking past for months, and name the recurring charge you already knew you should have canceled a year ago. Say them in writing, where somebody can see. Then set the timer for 10 minutes. Sweep the beam. That's our story. If you enjoyed it, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. And tomorrow, more stories are waiting for you. Thanks for watching.